Welcome to the Global Solutions Talk. My name is Stefan Heinke. I'm Global Solutions Fellow and business advisor, in particular to an African startup that is also active in Kenya. I'm excited to host today Cabinet Secretary for Cooperatives and Micro, Small, Medium Enterprises in Kenya, Dr. Wycliffe Oparanya.
Thank you.
Kenya, in the last years, has made a lot of progress in economic terms. You've seen significant growth on the one hand side. On the other hand, we also see that there's still a massive amount of poverty in the country. This is a huge challenge. I think it is an enormous challenge. And your ministry is very, very important in this situation. What are your priorities going forward?
Now, as a country, Kenya, we have priority areas. The first thing that we have identified, His Excellency the President, when he took over in 2022, he identified 5 priority areas that we have to focus on to transform our economy. And for the last 2 years, he has taken initiatives that has made us move forward in view of the current economic indicators. But the main areas before I come into what you have asked me is agriculture. Kenya is an agricultural-based economy. Second one is universal health care. The third one is housing, investment in affordable housing for the masses below the economic pyramid. The fourth one is the MSMEs, the micro, small and medium enterprises. And lastly, the digital economy, digital transformation economy. As a ministry in charge of MSMEs, the first thing, being a new ministry and being a new focus, was to come up with appropriate policies for this sector to thrive and a legal framework that is being undertaken. What is more critical is the startup bill that we have initiated as a ministry, that is before the National Assembly. And I'm very hopeful that if it goes through, this is going to be a milestone in that particular sector. But what is critical is that as a government, we have also come up with the financing mechanism, more so what we call Hustler Fund. Hustler Fund is a digital initiative where Kenyans MSMEs can access finance through the mobile phones. And then you go to the platform, you are able to borrow as low as $1 up to about $2,000, and you are able to pay over a period of 30 days at 8% interest. So that has really energized MSMEs actually.
Well, I'm very glad to hear that. I also wonder, a lot of the recent initiatives and also of the economic growth was actually also funded a lot by government investment, by public investment. Now that is increasingly difficult. So my question is, do you see a chance to attract private investment, especially in the agricultural sector, which is so much the backbone of the Kenyan industry?
Definitely, that is one of the areas that Kenya is concentrating on to attract private investment. And we have taken measures in terms of tax holidays. If you invested in agriculture now, you will be able to claim your capital investment once, Before, it was spread over 4 years.
Okay.
But from this year, we are attracting. And number two, we are also now fighting any barriers within that sector. One, corruption, so that it's a corruption-free. Three, one-stop shop, so that you are able to come one particular place, you register yourself, you get a business name, and in 2 days you are in business, whichever area you like.
Well, I've actually seen that already. The ease of doing business, according to the World Bank score for Kenya, is very good.
Yes, it is.
That is very encouraging to hear. But I think to make it real beyond these good governance aspects that you are talking about, I think which is very, very crucial and really need to be implemented. There's always the angle of innovation, of attractive business models, that actually do not come by itself, So do you see opportunities there to help come up with solutions that are innovative, adapted to your specific environment, but attractive to investors?
I have clearly said at the beginning that the digital is one of our key area of focus, digital economy. And by the way, if you came to Kenya and think the technology, we are fairly more advanced in more than even other developed countries. And in Africa, I can count ourselves that we are up there, especially what we call the M-Pesa. M-Pesa, transfer of money. You can transfer money when you are in Kenya using your phone to any part of the world you want. And even if I'm seated here, I can transfer money back home using my phone. A technology that is not available in most developed countries or even developing countries. So Kenya has moved on. And this is what also is attracting investors to come to Kenya.
I think M-Pesa is a very, it's really a shining example for an innovation which has made a leapfrog and empowered people in many ways.
Definitely.
But, it didn't come like that somebody had a good idea. There was also an enabling environment. There was subsidies for it in the beginning. There was the development assistance. There was large companies co-developing it. I think that's a good example of, how innovation could start in Africa, in Kenya, and how private investment could be attracted. Do you agree, or do you?
I can tell you that this was not government initiated. This was actually private sector.
Yeah.
And it was picked up by the private sector, and it has remained private sector. What the government has done is just to provide proper policies for it to thrive, and also a proper legislative framework. That is all.
I totally agree with that. I think one step more could also be to develop something like clusters to help universities, develop innovations and combine it with business interest and bring up like a startup environment that would bring more such solutions like M-Pesa to the country.
The environment we are operating in, more so the MSME, is a new creation. These MSMEs, which are now under my ministry, were spread all over in the various ministries, but they have been consulted together. We are targeting this particular area or concentrating to it so that more people come on board, because this is where businesses is, this is where employment is. We have now engaged universities, we have engaged 4 universities, so that these particular universities can now have training, entrepreneurship-related courses, so that anybody, whether you are illiterate, whether you are a primary school dropout, second school, university, you are able to go to this university, acquire some knowledge in entrepreneurship, and the government supports you to start your businesses.
We are running out of time. One last question, please answer in one sentence. You have one wish for Kenya. What is going to happen?
In Kenya, I'm very happy that we have now a transformed economy, and we have recovered fully as a country, that we are moving on. In another 5 years, we are hoping to be a developed country, the first one in Africa.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.